Let's begin our class. Let's come to settle and center ourselves, closing the eyes. We're going to make our way from outer to inner to breath. This is a beginner class, beginner level class, beginner approach to class. So if you are not familiar with classes that I teach, you're watching a recording of this, I strongly suggest going to the free tutorials that I have on the schedule site where you can get some primers and bring that back to your practice. Helps you to understand the class a little better. So we begin to make our way from outer to inner to breath. Tapping into the outer environment, connecting to the sense of sound, noticing what comes into sense of sound. And then just connecting to sense of touch, sensation on the skin, noticing whatever comes into awareness through that sense of touch. And connecting to sense of smell. And as usual, we're connecting to these senses one at a time, and no judgment or criticism with what floats up into our awareness. Just being the observer. And then let's make our way down to the feet and the legs to move through our body scan. So we'll bring that attention down into the feet and the legs. Notice. Moving that awareness into low back. And up the spine to upper back and shoulders. And bringing awareness into the neck and the face. As we come into breath awareness, feeling that breath fill up and empty out. Reminding ourselves that this breath is about allowing and not trying to control the breath in any way, not trying to make it go any deeper or try to fill up as much as possible. Just let it be, let it happen on its own. But beginning to feel that sense of 360-degree breath, breath in the round. Setting your intention for your practice. We usually have that time just to set that personal intention. How do you choose to be in the class? Where do you choose to place your awareness? How do you choose to move through your practice? Taking in our class intention, we say the practice of yoga is a special time that I have created to be with myself. It is a time to journey inward and to discover all of who I am and all of who I'm capable of being. This journey begins with this body. I come to honor and respect myself. Come to explore the breath and the movement and the meditation. I'm not here to beat myself up or force my body into pain. I'm not here to compare or criticize myself or anyone else. I'm just here to learn the ways of nature through this body by observing it and trusting it. And let's begin by sharing our own, taking a full breath in. Oh. And opening the eyes, taking our bow in our welcome. And we'll come on down for warm-ups. So let's ease yourself down, shake your legs out if you need to, and make your way down onto the floor. Knees up and feet flat. Hmm. Feeling that floor rise up to support you. Always building that skill or that ability or just that observation that what's happening with your body in the moment, what it's doing, what you're feeling wherever you're feeling it, and then also what are you feeling or what are you noticing in whatever your body is in relationship to. It might be a chair, in this case it's the floor, might be a bed, a wall, anything, the car. So just being able to notice and expand that awareness of yourself and yourself in relation to whatever is in your environment. And we'll ease those legs down and out. Take our full body stretch, arms overhead, filling up. And exhale, we'll release and let it go. A second stretch as you're ready. Inhale, squeezing the muscles in your face. And exhale, we'll release and relax. Let's take right knee up and in for some cradling, supporting that leg from side to side. One leg comes back to the center. We'll take the leg up, toes and ankle. And relaxing the foot. And we're going to bend the knee and just take the leg into reclined tree, grabbing hold of the foot and releasing the leg or the knee towards the floor and relaxing that other leg too. Part of what we're doing in our practice is to kind of get past some unconscious habits, unconscious kind of conditioning. Holding tension in that left leg is one of those ways that we can start to uh, release that. Maybe you can go through the body too, and just a quick little check through, noticing if it's can relax in some parts of the body. Breath is full and deep. Bring that knee up, foot to the floor, and slide the leg down and out. Let it go. And left knee up and in and cradling. And being aware, of course, as to whatever you're feeling in your leg and anywhere else in your body, depending, of course, on what you've been doing. If you've been doing some extra physical work or some unusual physical work, or just actually maybe even long time sitting, one side or the other might feel just a little bit different than how it normally does. And taking our time, letting the hip open up is a good practice. The knee comes back to the center, and we'll take this leg up, supporting it with your hand or with a strap, and toes and ankle. Relaxing the foot and inner thigh. Bend the knee, and we'll place the ankle on our thigh here for reclined tree. Relaxing through both legs, relaxing through the rest of the body. And we'll slowly bring that knee back up, foot to the floor, and let the left leg slide down and out. We'll take both knees up, both feet up off the floor, hands on our kneecaps, arms holding the weight so they are straight. And let's take it into knee circles. Changing up direction. Knee comes back to the center. And we'll take it into our knee down twist to the right. Knees come over, hips might shift to the left as you ease yourself over. And as all the classes, regardless whether it's gentle, restorative, beginner, or intermediate, if you need props, you use props. If you need something here between your knees or underneath the bottom knee, by all means use it. Once you've set yourself up for your twist, left arm overhead, and we'll take it into our side body stretch. So it's that inhale for the good stretch and lengthening out through the fingertips. And on the exhale, that release and letting go. A few more times. Arms come out shoulder height with the head turning away. And let's relax through the ankles, knees, and hips. Abdomen in on the end of the exhales. Just trying to maximize this position and this twist by using the breath and the abdominal activity. Still staying relaxed through the legs, through the ankles, knees, and hips, and up through the spine and out through those arms and neck. And we'll slowly bring the knees back up to center, hips back to center, and we'll pause. And take it over to the left. Ease yourself down. So here we also have the tendency, if we sometimes we can get in too close and the twist doesn't feel right. So that is one of the tenets we know of yoga. One of the foundations is that we've got to find the steadiness and ease of the pose. You don't want to dive right into finding a tough edge to work with. So and alignment is important. So if your knees feel like it's too pulled up, it's pulling somewhere, it doesn't feel good, just bring those knees away from you a little bit. We're going to scoot the left shoulder blade away out from underneath you. Right arm overhead and side stretch. And arms come out shoulder height, head turns away, and we'll relax and let go through ankles, knees, and hips. Relaxing through the spine. And we'll slowly bring those knees back up to center. Hips back to center, everything back to neutral. And pause. Take the left arm overhead, and we'll just roll ourselves over to the left. And we'll slowly bring ourselves up, making our way into our table. Onto hands and knees. Knees below those hips, hips width apart, wrists below the fingers, fingers width apart. And we will relax through the spine, all the way up into the neck. Moving into our cat stretches, moving back and forth with the breath. So begin as you're ready. And we'll come back to neutral table spine. Observe and feel. We'll curl the toes under and take it up to our warm-up down dog. So we draw into the belly. Right, to lift those knees up off the floor. We start to root a little bit more into the hands, into the base knuckles. And as we heart root into the belly, we start to lengthen out through the sits bones. Leg muscles hug the bones, and we release the heels. And then we can come into some walking in place. And then let's come back to that full downward dog and engaging through the hands, muscles hugging the bones in the arms, lengthening through the sides, engaging through those legs, feeling the magnetic draw of the heels down to the earth. And we'll walk our feet forward, getting them underneath you. Heart rooting, draw into the belly, root down into those legs, and let's roll it up, stacking our spine. Feeling each vertebrae just stacking. Once you're all the way upright, breathe and feel, observe. Feel the release maybe through your shoulders. And we'll open the eyes. Let's see, we'll come to the front edge of our mat. So we're going to go through Moon Salutation today. So we will get right into that. So you want to come to the front edge of your mat. And let's see, some of you might know an alternative or might know a variation or a modification to take in any one of these poses as we move through. So again, don't be afraid to do that and take the modification that works for you, even if I'm not teaching that. So we'll come tall, cleansing breath, feeling that rooting action, lifting, lengthening, finding your steadiness and ease in your mountain pose. Eyes are open and soft. And let's inhale those arms up and overhead, interlace the fingers with index fingers pointing up. And as we root and lift, let's exhale up and over to the right, a lateral stretch through the left side body. Inhaling up to the center. And exhaling up and to the left. And inhale, center. And exhale into the easy back bend with the hips forward. Heart lifting, lengthening the neck up and back. Inhale while you're here. And exhale, we'll come all the way up. And hands to the heart. Breathe it in. And exhale, we'll take a big step out with the left foot. Lengthwise on the mat with toes turned out about 45 degrees. We're going to have a slight bend in those knees for goddess pose or warrior variation. Heart rooting, upper belly, low belly, zipping it up. Leg muscles hugging the bones, feet grounding. And I like to lift my toes usually to feel the full activation around my whole foot. And then relax those toes down. And then once we feel we've got that nice grounding, drawing in and rooting down, we can bring those arms out shoulder height, turn the palms up and bend the elbows with the palms facing the wall in front of you. So like cactus arms, I call this goalpost arms, and just feel that full kind of magnetic pull again from the whole back body, drawing you back to the wall behind you. Not so strong that it'll take you off balance, but just enough that your heart root is just helping to balance out and counteract that magnetic draw. Steady, even breath. Tops of the shoulders relax. We're drawing those shoulder blades in and down the back, nice and firm on the back. If you want to go lower in your seat, you can certainly do that. Don't the knees drop in. That's the thing. Those knees are being magnetically drawn to the wall behind you. And then we're going to draw into the belly and slowly straighten the legs and take those arms straight out to the side, palms up. Head of the arm bones draw in. 5-point star, draw into the belly. It can root down through the feet. It's because this is a simple stance doesn't mean that it can't be strong and strengthening. Muscles hugging the bones in those arms. Can you feel that action through your arms? You feel the alignment of your head. Sometimes if you start to feel a lot of tension in the neck, it's mostly because of um, the alignment of your head. So doing what you can to see if you can balance that out. And breathe it in. And we'll exhale, turn those palms over, slowly lower them down. Breathe and release. And we'll take it to the left for warrior two pose. So we readjust those feet. Right foot turns in 45 degrees, left foot turns out to the short end of your mat with the knee bending over the ankle. Torso is rotating, hips are square. So watching that, sometimes that left hip, if it drops too much, the right hip lifts. We want to see if we can even it out. Muscular energy again, drawing in upper belly, low belly, muscles hugging, feeling again that magnetic pull of the backs of the legs to the wall behind you. Lifting and lengthening through the torso as we're rotating, in this case to our right. Arms are floating up once again, and we're looking out over left fingertips. And it's okay to look over the left arm and to look back the right arm and just see if that arm is in the right place. If it's too high, you're going to see it at an angle, again, if too low, and or if it's too kind of wing back, try to find that nice centered place right out from the hip, from the arm joint, and then take the gaze over the left. Eventually, we come to get a felt sense that it's in place. And breathe it in and exhale, the hand comes down and we'll straighten the left leg. We're going to take this into triangle pose. So we're drawing muscle energy in again. We're engaging through those legs. So you want to feel that sense of, as the muscles hug the bones, you want to feel that the head of the femur bone is kind of energetically rolling in, and that the calves are externally rotating, they're rolling out, and that those two actions are balancing each other out. We still have our square hips, and we're rooting in and down, arms floating up, looking out over the left fingertips. And as we exhale, drawing into the belly, and now we're going to roll over that left femur bone, lengthening out. So we're drawing that muscle energy up the leg, really from the arch of our foot up through the leg into the hip joint, allowing us to lengthen up through the left side body into the armpit. And then that left arm comes onto the inside of the left leg. Right arm will come up to the ceiling or in your back pocket. We'll lengthen, draw into the chin and lengthen through the neck to help keep that alignment. Keep drawing into the belly and lengthening out to the side. So we're trying to watch out that we don't round too far forward and down. That's going to pull us out of the stability of the pose. So people tend to think they want to go down lower, but it just pulls them out of the pose more. So sometimes coming up a little bit higher allows you to actually be more in the pose more appropriately for your body. There's a lot going on here, so let your body teach you. And we'll inhale to slowly bring ourselves up. And exhale those arms down. When you relax, you just kind of feel this tendency for the torso to turn towards the left leg. So let's bend that left knee, and then just let's flip our back foot forward so that it's facing the left on the short end of our mats. And we want our feet hips width apart and legs straight. So no bent knees here. And hips are square. That is the other thing here. So if your legs are too wide and you start to broaden and open up the hip, adjust it. Feet flat, hips square. Always our go-to beginner placements. Once we know we have that, we can usually get into the pose from there. So let's bring the hands behind the back, and you might grab hold of elbows, or you might bring the palms together. And we'll root into the belly, engage through those legs, and lift those kneecaps. Try to feel that muscular energy drawing up your leg, helping you to get a nice long spine, and we'll start to hinge it over. Right? Feel that you're lifting up and forward rather than just dropping down. Some of you might feel a real big pull behind the knee or up in the butt. If you have that happening, you can have a slight little bend. It doesn't have to be much, just a little bend. If you know how to use a block, you can use a block prop for this. But the idea here is that we keep long spine. And steady, even breath. Do the best you can. As always, if you need to come out of a pose, you just do it carefully and mindfully. You can always come back into it. And we inhale to slowly bring ourselves up. Release those hands. We're going to come down to the floor into runner's stretch. So we're going to bend the left knee. Inhale, root into the belly. Lengthen out, lower yourself down, fingertips to the floor. Take that back foot a little further back. Runner's stretch. Draw down in, root, and lengthen. Feeling that there's a little campfire underneath your right thigh, and you don't want that thigh to get burned, so you need to lift that thigh away, but you also want the hip to drop. Nice steady breath in and out. And left hand comes onto the inside of the left shin. Plant that right foot on the floor. And then the torso and the hands are kind of at an angle to your mat. Hands are shoulder width apart. Hands are flat. Maybe they're on a block. Maybe they're up on the fingertips. Either way, whatever positioning, and we're heart rooting in down into those feet again. Left arm presses into left shin presses back, and we lengthen through the spine. Hip opening lunge. Drawing into the belly, engaging those legs. And we'll straighten the left leg. We'll walk our hands to the center. We'll turn those feet. We're going to do the squat variation today. If you know of another variation or the wide leg variation, you can do that. I'm just going to talk us through the squat. So in the squat, you walk those feet in, and you can have the feet either be straight ahead or slightly turned out, a little wider than hips. Root down into the belly, and we're lowering ourselves down, lowering that tailbone to the floor. Not actually to touch the floor, but down in that direction. Arms come on the inside of our knees, palms together, and we root into the belly, all the way down into those legs and feet, and begin to lengthen our spine. Steady breath in and out. If you're in another variation, Then just listen to your body, guiding yourself into that. And we'll slowly come forward, hands to the floor. We'll slowly lift those hips up. We'll walk those feet back to a wide stance. And we'll take this into the hip opening lunge on this side. So the right foot turns out to the short end of your mat, right arm snugs into the shin, left foot is flat on the floor. We root into the belly, into those legs, lengthening the spine. And as we do that, as we draw that muscle energy in and lengthen, perhaps the hip drops a little bit. Steady breath in and out. Let's turn it into our runner's stretch with hands on either side of the front of that right knee. Rooting in, the left foot turns in a little bit so that we can, again, draw muscle energy in and lift and lengthen. Breathe it in and exhale. We'll step it up. Just a little ways for standing head to knee. So that foot comes up a little bit more. You can lift yourself up all the way. Readjust yourself so that you feel steady. Again, both legs are straight, both feet are flat on the floor, hips are square, hands come behind the back. And as we root into those legs, lift through front, back, and side bodies. Let's lengthen out and over. Remember, again, as we're lifting out and over, we have that opposite action. In this case, it's the right sits bone that has the opposite action of lengthening back behind us to help counteract the lifting up and forward. And we'll inhale to slowly bring ourselves back up. Releasing and letting go. And we'll slowly turn the torso to the long end of our mat. Maybe come into a slightly longer stance for our triangle pose. So the right foot still stays turned out to the short end of your mat. You might extend that left leg a little further back, but the toes are turned in. The torso is going to be rotating now to the left. And trying once again to Have legs be straight, allowing you to draw in, root down, and lift and open and expand. Arms float up shoulder height. Look out over those right fingertips. Take a breath in and exhale. We'll hinge and lengthen and windmill it down into the pose. Rooting and rising. And inhale, we'll slowly float it up. Take a pause. Again, those arms can come down as we transition to the next pose. Bend this knee and place this right knee over the ankle. Again, we'll feel that twisting, that rotation through the torso. Again, checking the hips, alignment, heart rooting, draw it in, anchor it down, lift and lengthen. Arms float up for warrior two, taking your gaze over right fingertips. Feeling just a little bit of pull and draw back through the left side of your body. Breathe it in and we'll exhale to release. Straighten the leg, turn those feet to the long end of your mat. 5-point star. Rooting in, anchoring down, lifting up, arms once again floating up. Turn the palms. Muscles hug the bones. Steady breath in and out. Observe and feel, be with the breath. And so when we start to get, our mind starts to get caught up in a part of the body that is feeling fatigued or tired, or some crankiness in the mind, come to the breath. Let that breath steady you. Bring it back into the moment. Find that sense of steadiness and ease through the breath. Breathe it in and exhale. Turn the hands over. Really relax through those arms. Just draw your heels in, just pivot and make the 45-degree angle with your feet. Start that little knee bend there, sinking into it. Goddess pose. Muscle energy, draw it in. Upper belly, low belly, zip it up. Rounding down. Lengthening. Arms again float up. Turn, palms turn up. We'll bend the elbows, take them into cactus arms, goalpost arms. So we're always playing around and observing that root and rise, that energy of drawing in and rooting down, and the energy that comes back up to lift and lighten and expand. Whatever pose we're doing, just being the observer to that, appreciating. It feels like you can go lower in your seat. Your heart root is supportive of that, then go with that. Breath is supportive, go with it. Bring the hands to the heart. We'll transition to come to the front edge of our mat. So we'll just shift the weight into the left foot, allowing you to pivot on the right. And then on an exhale, we'll just slide that left foot on through. Coming to that short end of your mat, feet or hips width apart. And let's inhale those arms up and overhead, interlacing. Press and lift and lengthen and exhale up and to the left. Inhale to the center. And exhale up and to your right. And inhale to the center. Exhale, arms come out. Easy back bend, hips forward, heart lifting. Inhale while you're here. And exhale to come up. Breathe and feel. From here, let's slowly make our way down to our seat. Come on down. Onto your mat with legs out. Let's take our twist. Twist of choice. You can either do cross-legged twist or right leg up and over. I'm going to do cross-legged variation today. You can do whichever variation you want. Just know that we all go in the same direction. We'll be twisting to the right. So that left hand is going to be placed on your right knee or wrapped around your right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Line it up with your sacrum first. Line up that thumb with your sacrum and then just kind of walk your hand straight back. Keep a little bit of bend in your elbow. Let's pause here and root in. Upper belly, low belly into the feet and legs. Rise up through the crown and exhale into our twist. And just keep playing and exploring with that root and rise. And inhale, lift and rise up tall. Slowly untwist. Return to center. Let everything relax. Taking your back foot to the front or switching legs. Now left leg is up and over the right leg. Reset yourself with your hands, and of course in the opposite positioning. Line up that back hand again and pause. Root down into the sits bones, lift and lengthen through the spine, and exhale into twist. Shoulders down, heart lifting. Abdomen and at the end of the exhale, trying to scoop that inner stretch. And inhale, nice and tall. Keep it tall as you come back to the center. And then we'll exhale to soften. Drawing those knees up, legs out. You can give it a little shake. And we'll come down to the floor. Ease yourself down. Knees up, feet flat. Again, allow for that pause. Allow for noticing that relationship of floor and body. And arms come alongside of you. We'll do bridge. There are several variations of bridge that those that have been coming, of course, are familiar with, and doing whichever one you choose for today, just using your inner guide to get you there. I'm going to teach the Hatha bridge. So we walk the feet in comfortably close to the backs of the thighs, feet are hips width apart. And again, we're broadening and through those feet so you can lift your toes and try to stretch and then release your toes down. Looking up to the ceiling so that your head is in proper alignment with the neck. And let's just do some pelvic tilting. Just tilting that pelvis so you draw that belly in, tailbone lifts up just a teeny bit. We're just rocking the pelvis. And then we'll continue draw into the belly, start to press into the feet, and you'll lift up a little higher. And continuing that lift. So when we're first learning, when we were first practicing, we do need to have a lot of repetition and to just continue to develop our observational abilities to notice that we're not clenching the glutes, that we're engaging what we need to be engaging, which is heart root, upper belly, low belly, pelvic floor muscles, legs and feet. And then as you come down, you release those. You engage again and lift up. Just continuing to come up and down. And then we'll come up to hold for bridge. You're rooting in and down, anchoring into those feet, anchor into those shoulder blades, draw them in underneath you, and those arms are rooted down. Steady breath in and out. We'll walk those arms out and we'll slowly lower ourselves to the floor. Observe and feel. You can bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart, palms on the belly. And just nice, good letting go. Just let that breath begin to fill you up. Reach those arms overhead to inhale and lengthen. Exhale, we'll let it go. Bring those knees back up again, feet up off the floor, hands around. Take our active pose, Upasana pose. So we draw into the upper belly, low belly, engage through those legs, and draw the forehead up towards the knees. Very gently place the head back down, feet back to the floor. And let's ease those legs down and out for relaxation. Shifting hips, tucking shoulder blades. Palms face up, 8 or 10 inches away, eyes are closed. Breathe down into the feet and the legs. And as you exhale, let the feet and the legs release and relax. Breathing into the pelvic bowl, low back, low belly, and exhale, release, and let go. Breathing into the back body, the front body, the side body, expanding into that torso. And as you exhale, relaxing and letting go. Breathing into shoulders, elbows, wrists, and fingers. And exhaling to release and relax through those arms. And feel that breath flow into the neck and the face. And as you exhale, relaxing eyes and cheeks and jaw. And just begin to deepen your breath. Allow a stretch to come through the body. Let the knees float up and into your chest, arms around, taking in a nice little hug of appreciation and gratitude, gently rocking side to side. Right arm overhead, roll it all the way over to the right, laying on your side, pause. And slowly bringing it up. And coming to sit for some closing meditation time, sitting in a way that's most comfortable. Use a little heart root to sit tall and then close the eyes and let that inner gaze come to settle towards the end of your nose. And as you inhale, just repeating to yourself, this breath is breathing in, the slow inhale. And on a slightly slower exhale, repeating to yourself, this breath is breathing out. And gently bring awareness back to the breath. And take a moment to set an intention for the rest of your day. Taking in our intention, our quote for this week, in addition to your intention. Your being is a fountain of energy. Whenever you are doing without being the doer and achiever, suddenly that fountain of energy is accessible to you. Your being is a fountain of energy. Whenever you are doing without being the doer and achiever, suddenly that fountain of energy is accessible to you. Take that intention, your personal intention, and bring it down into the heart center where we will infuse it with some of your heart energy, and we'll send that off with the bell, collecting up with other heart energy out there, letting it go. And we'll close with our Om and Shantis, taking a full breath in. Om. And breathe it in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sharing and spreading the peace wherever we go, taking our bow. And namaste. Namaste to you all. Have a wonderful 24 hours.